Hi, so I just recorded this and I realized I did it wrong. So I'm recording the whole thing again. Hi, it's Miss Ballard and this is Trixie. Hello. And I'm going to talk to you about our battle plan for the week. Thanks, Trixie. You can go now. Okay, so battle plan for the week. I'm going to change my computer so you can see what I'm doing this time. And let's see. Ta-da. I am presenting my screen, it says. Yay. Okay, so you're going to get this every week. It's going to be in your email and hopefully on Classroom if I'm super organized. And it's going to tell you all the things you need to do every week. Okay, so this is just week 1, which we're going to say starts on Wednesday. So on here, you have assignments that are grouped by day and then what day they need to be completed by. So generally, during the week is when you can work on your assignments, and almost everything's going to be due on Friday at 3 p.m. because that's when school is over and carpool begins, or not. So if something is due on a weird day, like our first assignment up here, I'll specifically say what day it needs to be due. So this says sign up for a meeting time by Wednesday on Classroom. So this is actually due on Wednesday. And you're going to sign up for a meeting on Wednesday for either Thursday or Friday. And then this column right here says what needs to be completed. So let's go ahead and pretend like we're signing up for a meeting. So I can do that by going to Classroom, and it is down here. Sign up for meeting. I'm going to read my directions first. And then I'm going to read all these directions before I sign up for my meeting in one of these boxes. Okay. All right. So that's the first deal. Okay. All right. Then we have math. So math assignments are to be done during the week, unless it's a math test. And then I'm going to give you a specific set of days you have to do it. It'll probably be over 2 days. You can choose when you do it. And that's just because I don't want you to be overwhelmed in figuring out when does this assignment due, when is this test due. So the test, I'm going to be more specific when those are due. This week we are only doing lesson 66. Okay, so normally we're going to probably do a lesson every day or every other day, but we're only doing lesson 66. This is going to be due on Friday by the end of the day. And we only have one assignment this week, so you can ask me questions. All right, so I'm going to put a video up on Classroom. I haven't done it yet. That's the next thing. And that's going to be over lesson 66. So your job is to watch the lesson. Then you're going to check your practice set. Then you're going to do your odds for homework. And then you're going to grade your work with the answer key. Where is the answer key? The answer key is in your parents' email. So once you have shown your homework to mom or dad, they can say, here is the answer key. Now, mom or dad does not need to check your homework, guys. Your job, just like at school. After you've done that, you need to take a photo and send it to Miss Fox. Okay. All of this is written out in here. Okay. And again, in the first math video, I'm going to remind you of how to do all this since this is all new. Let's see. Okay. So math, I gave you 3 days to work on it. And then on Friday, it says, ask Miss Ballard if you have questions. I'm scheduling a Google Meet let's see, Google Meet on, oh no, wrong preposition. I guess 4 is right. For 11 to 12 on Friday, if you have any questions specifically for math. So you can't come in and join the Google Meet and ask me questions about history. We're going to do that on Monday. This is specifically for math. Some of you miss 2 problems and you understand what you missed. That's cool. You don't need to come. This is an optional meeting. If you miss 6 or 7 and you are confused or you don't remember how to do something since your brain turned to mush over spring break, this is when you ask me questions. Okay. So this is an optional meet. Let's see. So to get to that meet, you are already invited and it will be in your inbox. And you'll get an email, and the email should look something like this. So this is what I got from Mr. Ravenhill today for a meeting I went to. And it will have the title of the meeting, when it is, And then to join the meeting, you just click right here where it says join Hangouts meeting. It's just like what we practiced in class. It's the exact same thing. Again, this is an optional meeting. So you do not have to attend, but if you have questions, that's when it is your time to ask me questions, okay? This is a lot of talking. Great, Wordly Wise. We are not technically going to start Wordly Wise till next week. However, some of you are probably bored out of your minds, so I'm going to tell you what the assignment is anyway. All of our Wordly Wise work is due next Friday, 4/13, okay? If you want to get started, I already put up 8A, 8A, 8B, but you guys know you can go all the way through E. I will be putting up the tests next week on Google Classroom. As soon as you have completed all your assignments, I will be sending out the answer key, and you can check them with the answer key. And once you've checked them with the answer key, then you can do the test next week. Okay, and I'll explain this more next week in that battle plan, which I'll be sending out on Monday. Okay, so there's more information about Wordly Wise. Right now, we're not going to do spelling. That way you guys can do this more on your own. Don't forget, you can go on Quizlet, and there is some practice sets on there for you with the words for vocab, so you can practice on there. Okay. Okay, geography. So we always think long-term with geography. Some of you guys, like, you can memorize this stuff in 20 minutes, like crew, or the rest of you take a little bit longer, like me. So Asia test is going to be on the 9th of April, which is a Thursday. So the third week that we're doing this, everything's going to be due on Thursday because Friday is Good Friday. So on here, it says to be successful for Asian geography, you need to get a 90% or higher in less than 10 minutes. And we're going to use the software we use to practice for the test. We're just going to take that as our test. Okay. And at the end, it says 90% or 92% or 12%, whatever it is. And don't yawn, Trixie. And you're going to send a picture of that. Just take a picture of your screen to Miss Fox when you're done. Nothing, though, is actually due until Thursday, the 9th of April, but that's something you're going to want to be practicing. That's really easy, something you can do while you're watching TV or catching up on your Netflix. Okay, writing. Writing for this week, we're just going to do some journaling. And I thought we could do like a journal based off Bible verses as a way to be calm in the situation that we're facing right now. So what you're going to do for writing is you're going to take your Bible. I don't care which version of a Bible you have, as long as you have a Bible. If you don't have a Bible at home, go online and look up your verses. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn to Psalm 46, which is one of my favorite Psalms. And what you're going to do is you are going to get your reading writing notebook, and you're going to copy the Psalm down. So this, let's see, on Wednesday, you're just doing verses 1 through 4. So I write Psalm 146, 1 through 4. And I write my date. So today is Monday, 3/23/20. Okay, so it looks like this. And then I'm going to go in my Bible and I'm going to copy out the first 4 verses of my Psalms. So I'm going to start, God is our refuge and strength. And I'm going to continue all the way till the end of verse 4. And it's going to go down to about here. Okay, maybe here if you're a small writer. And that's for you to have time to interact and think about what you're reading, because generally if we read it, we don't really pay attention to what we're reading. But I want you to really dig into the text. So then I want you to take a few minutes and reflect. And I have some reflection questions written on this document to help you think about it. But I want you to write 5 sentences reflection. Now, you can write that as a paragraph. You can write it just as stream of consciousness, but I want good sentences thinking about this. So you can think about, what do I think God is trying to tell me in this verse? Can I connect with this verse? How can I change my behavior because of this verse? Have I seen someone recently living out this verse? So let's say I wrote down my psalm, and now I'm going to write my response to it. So the psalm starts, God is our refuge and strength, and ever-present help in trouble. So maybe I want to say something like, when I visited England, I saw many castles built by Edward the First as a place, as a safe place. Okay, and then that would be my first sentence. Okay, and then I could continue and say something like, it's a nice visual. It's a castle is a good way to visualize God as a place of refuge, a place to hide. Right now, I feel like I am hiding in my house from the coronavirus. However, I know that God is my true refuge and will strengthen me during this time of trouble. So it's whatever you want. There's no right or wrong answers. Please check your spelling, check your punctuation. Actually, I'm going to write that down here. Please check spelling and punctuation. Okay. And then after it, skip a line, and then underneath it, you can free write. You can write about whatever you want, or you can draw pictures. So after I've written, my 5 good sentences, maybe I want to draw a castle as a visual for me. There's my castle. Yay. Okay, but I want to add it, make it look a little better than that. Okay, this is my really quick castle. I expect a little better than that. All right. So you're going to do that every day. Now, that is something I would really recommend doing, like splitting that into days. You're going to get more out of that if you have a way to if you can use this as a devotion versus doing it all at once. You can do it all at once, but make sure you do it all on different sheets of paper. So you're still going to write me 3 separate entries. Don't just write all the verses on one page and then write all the sentences on the next. You're going to write me 3 separate pages. But again, I would prefer if you could do this over several days as a way to do a devotion. Okay. History. All right. So this week, you will be reading an article about the Spanish flu, because it's where we are in history and it's super timely. So that is posted here, and it's PDF, so you should just be able to download it. And this is specifically the Spanish flu in St. Louis. Okay, so this is what happened 100 years ago in St. Louis. Okay. And then after that, I'm going to do my World War I study guide. Do this first, do the Spanish flu first, then the study guide. For the Spanish flu, I don't have you answering questions. I don't have you copying or highlighting anything. I just want you to read it carefully, because there will be a question on your test about the Spanish flu. So make sure that you have read through that and you understand it. It's actually really interesting what St. Louis did with the Spanish flu. All right, let's see. So then you're going to do your World War I study guide. That is posted also on Classroom. Here we go. Okay, and here's your World War I study guide. So you have Archduke Franz Ferdinand. What do you know about this? What do I know about this person? I know he was assassinated. He was Austrian. He was the heir to the throne. I also know where he was assassinated, so I could put that. Assassinated in Serbia. Heir to the throne, and I also remember who assassinated him, so I can write killed by Gavrilo Princip. Okay, so you're going to do that for all of these. filling in with bullets. You do not need to use complete sentences. It's on here. The directions are on here to help you remember what to do. Okay. When you get to the Treaty of Versailles, you will need to look through some of your readings, probably. Remember, we read the packet on that, and your notes. A lot of these things you're going to be able to find in your notes. Some of them will be in your Story of the World book. You need to look at the stuff before you come complaining to me that you don't know. We went over all of the stuff. However, I know that you'll have questions, and I'd be happy to answer your questions, but I want you to be proactive and try to solve your own problems first. Okay. So if we go back to our battle plan, okay, it says, I will schedule an optional Google Meet for Monday at 10 a.m. for you to ask questions. Okay. Again, this is an optional Google Meet. So this is if you have questions. The test will post next Tuesday. So not this week, the following week. You can choose when you want to take the test. Some of you fill out the study guide and that's all you need. Some of you will need a lot more time to study, which is what I would recommend. So you can take that test anytime you want between Tuesday and Friday of next week. That's up to you. It just needs to be done by Friday at 3. And again, that's next week, not this week. Okay. Literature. So we are going to be working on our lit books. You each have either The Hiding Place or Unbroken at your house that I sent home with you because we were thinking ahead. And I have the assignments here. So Unbroken, you are reading pages 1 through 12, pages 13 through 29, pages 30 through 39. These again are optional of like which days you do it. However, what is due is listed here. So next Tuesday, you need to have read pages 1 through 48, which is part 1 of the book. Hiding Place, you need to have read chapters 1 through 2, which is due next Wednesday. So these on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for this week, this is just like a pacing guide of when you should probably be doing things to make sure you are ready to go for next week. Then underneath here, it also says, let me know if you can't make the following discussion times next week. We're only attending the time for your book. So if you're reading Unbroken, we're going to have discussion next Tuesday from 11:20 to 12. If you're reading The Hiding Place, we're going to do it on Wednesday from 11:20 to 12. And that's going to be my time to check in with you and make sure you understand what you're reading. So you don't have any sheets, okay? But that means that you need to be reading carefully and ready to go on next Tuesday or Wednesday to discuss. So that's the homework for the week. I went over it. It took a long time because it's all new how we're doing this, but it's really not a ton. Remember, you always look at this column on the right. That's going to tell you what needs to be done by the end of the week, or if nothing's due this week, when it will be due. Okay, so I have a few questions that you might have. Can I work on my assignments with a friend? Yeah. You should not be going to your friend's house because that spreads disease. However, you can use the FaceTime, the phone, whatever you got to work with a friend. If it's not a test and if you are both working hard, that does not mean that Reese and Olivia work together and Reese does all the work and Olivia is sitting there looking at pictures of kittens. This means that you are working together and both doing the same amount of work. Okay. If your parents notice that you are not doing work at your time, I'm going to say, no, you have to work independently. So this is a privilege and Miss Ballard can say, nope, you just can't handle this. So you have to work independently. Okay. So keep that in mind. I think all of you can handle this, but that is optional if you want to work with a friend. Okay. I'm confused. How can I get help? This is when we have Google Meets. You're welcome to give me a text or call between 10 to 12. If you have a question, you can also email me if you have a question and we can set up a time, or you can just call me and I'll be able to help you. And last thing, I'm distracted and I can't get everything done. Don't worry. Okay. I don't want anyone freaking out with this. You got plenty of other things to worry about. So I am willing to work with you. If you're like, Miss Ballard, I really just like, it's too much. then you need to come talk to me. Well, I can't come. Please don't come. You can call me though, and we can work out a plan to make sure that everything is going well for you. So that is the battle plan for this week. Oh, one last thing. When you go on Classroom, you should have this nifty sidebar right here. Do you see the nifty sidebar? Oh, drat. Don't click on that. And it tells you when your assignments are due. Ooh. So on Wednesday, I know I need to sign up for my time. And on Friday, my Spanish flu article is due and my World War I study guide is due. Don't forget also your math is due. It's not on here. Okay. But this is what's due on Classroom. Also, if you are enterprising, you can go on your Google Calendar. You can find this when you click on the boxes and it says calendar. Haha. And this is my weekly calendar. So Erica's gone. Oh no, I'm not in Portugal. And it's going to tell you when stuff is. So this is what my week is looking like. Yours looks a lot less scary. This tells you when your assignments are due. So they're down here. And then if you have a meetup or Google Meet, it's going to be on here as well. So you should have this there as well. The rest is just stuff I have to go to, or well, virtually. So if you have any questions, go ahead and give me a ring or email me. I'm here for you, and I'm not really going anywhere. So let me know if I can help you anymore. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day and eat lots of cookies.